Eden Town Hall, number 56, I believe. I'm here with Eric and Rosmari, and we have been having some discussions. We have a couple of exciting topics on the agenda about Lisa's coffee shop and also about the open mic night and Rosmari's recent work. I have a brief presentation I can share on the agenda, and I'll share that in a moment. But first, Rosmari and Eric, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. If you'd like to say hello or anything on top of your mind, then please feel free to share.
Welcome, excited to be here, and welcome everybody along with us. We've got a pretty interesting journey today, which I think everyone will have fun with.
Yes.
Hi from me. I'm here for the ride. Maybe open mic night too.
Sounds great. Looking forward to open mic night. Thanks so much. I'm here for the ride as well, and looking forward to all the fun we'll share. And I suppose on that night, I can get into a presentation so we can share what is this open mic night and what is this fun ride that we'll be on today. All right, so everybody can learn about Eden Town Hall, the event that we're on, the event that we're at edentownhall.com. Of course, you can scroll down a little bit to see our past episodes and RCP and about. We do have another episode coming out this week. We had a great discussion with Perry. We also discussed with Gabriel and Rosmari. Rosmari just put out a message in the Eden Town Hall Telegram, t.me/Eden Town Hall, as well as several other related chats and EOS and Eden and Alien Worlds, talking about our open discussion we're going to have about open mic night at Lisa's coffee shop. I'll be hosting this. This event's coming up on Friday, and Eric has been organizing it. Thanks so much, Eric and Rosmari, for all the great work. I'm looking forward to getting into it. And as Rosmari said too, check out the Eden Creators YouTube channel as well to see our upcoming episodes, and also join the group chat, t.me/Eden Town Hall, to engage and learn more and so forth. You can check out youtube.com/Eden Creators. We appreciate there's been a bunch of subscribers lately, and the channel is growing. We're getting organized with all sorts of awesome thumbnails and awesome videos, which I'll preview a little bit here about Flower Time and EF58 and so forth. Usually for town halls, we do like a more detailed like agenda and stuff. We have a very quick agenda that we kind of put together, talking about Lisa's coffee shop and some updates from Rosmari. As you can see, she has some updates here in this screenshot. So basically, I'm just going to give a little overview for the next few minutes of these topics on the agenda. Then we'll pass over to Eric, and then we'll pass it over to Rosmari for a little bit of update discussion after talking about Lisa's coffee shop in more detail. We're going to do kind of a planning session for Lisa's coffee shop, because there's still some things we want to plan, and we're also just going to give a high-level introduction to everything going on with Lisa's coffee shop as well, for the open mic night rather. So anyway, another just like public service announcement, we created a new event link for the Eden Town Hall, so you can now get weekly reminders sent to your email to join the Eden Town Hall. You can go to lu.ma/Eden Town Hall, and then you can sign up, hit register. There's a little description here where you can learn more. And we also do the same thing for Eden Fractal as well. We did this a week or two ago, so it makes it easy to just sign up, and then you get email reminders every time. And we're also working on providing great email updates and stuff like that. But right now you can go to lu.ma/Eden Town Hall or Eden Fractal to sign up for these events happening for the Eden Town Hall every other Monday at 17 UTC, and for the Eden Fractal every Wednesday at 15:30 UTC. You can also see Rosmari's message there in t.me/Eden Town Hall. Thanks again, Rosmari, for the great work. And yeah, first I want to give a little update too, because people might have watched Eden Town Hall episode number 35, which was about 6 months ago or so, where we discussed with Eric his work with the Art Fractal and Alien Worlds in general, which we've been very involved with, and many other exciting initiatives that Eric's been up to, and that we've all been up together to help communities and help people with art and help people make better governance decisions together and so forth. So we had an episode about this where we introduced Eric's work. You can see edentunnel.com/35. There's some kind of early show notes here with some timestamp stuff. You can look and find exactly where we talked about it. And then you can go on YouTube to see the full meeting and see some screen shares about Eric's work with the Art Fractal. We can get more updates with the Art Fractal in the future, as well as all the other stuff we talked about here. But for now, we're going to focus mostly on his work with the Center for Governance and Lisa's Coffee Shop. So for anybody's not familiar, Lisa's Coffee Shop, this is started by Lisa Chandler. She is a great community leader in Alien Worlds, and also in the EOS community. She's been doing amazing stuff for a long time. Met her at Crown along with Duane and many other people. And Least Coffee Shop is on the top floor of the Center for Governance. So in this past episode of the Eden Town Hall, we discussed about what is a Center for Governance, and perhaps Eric can just reintroduce ourselves for anybody who missed that episode. But Eric recently put together a website for the Center for Governance where you can learn more about it. And so it talks about how it's a guiding light for the universe of alien worlds for candidates and so forth. So you can read more about it here and find a link to the open mic night, as well as the location and different people who are involved with it, including myself and Eric and Duane. And Eric's also been doing a great job of also providing updates with the IE Community Council. And there's links here you can share. The website's still in development. Actually, Eric and I just published like kind of a tutorial video about using this site, which we'll share more in detail, but you can see a lot of the work that Eric has been doing with the IE Community Council that Lisa has been organizing. So it's really cool to see all these coming together. Eric just published an event link at eventbrite.com, which will be shared in the message that Rosmari shared, where people can get tickets and RSVP for this. This will be coming up on Friday, August 4th. I'll be hosting it. The 17 UTC, and Eric has been taking the leadership role in organizing it, and also kind of rallying up people like me and Duane and Vlad, I think, to help out, and Rosmari. Basically, there'll be up to 15 performers who can share their music or comedy or poetry or art or whatever they may want to share, and they can compete for prizes on Zoom, and then people will use kind of like fractal social games, the kind of social games that we've been pioneering at Eden Fractal to help rank each other's songs and stuff. Eric can go into more detail about it, so I'm just going to provide a high-level overview, but everybody can click there. Oh, you want to jump in, Eric?
And when you go to Eventbrite, make sure you choose the right ticket, because when you get your free ticket, you can either be an attendee or a performer. There's only 15 performer tickets, so if you want to be a performer, click that one. And if you don't want to be a performer, don't take up that space, get an attendee ticket, but they're both in there when you select your free tickets.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you very much, Eric, for sharing that. And feel free, of course, to Eric or Rosmari, if you want to jump in. I was thinking this would be a fast like intro presentation, but it's a bit more detailed. So if there's anything else you want to add or jump in for a couple minutes and share some more thoughts, then feel free. Encourage everybody to click get tickets, and remember to sign up for either the listener or the performer. And encourage you too, if you do want to perform or if it's on your mind, then we'd love to hear from you too. I was trying to convince Vlad during the recent Alien Worlds Fractal meeting we just had to play guitar for us and sing, or I think Rosmari might share some music too. During the event, I'm planning to share some music. Eric is working on a cover of Toto by Africa, if I'm not mistaken, that I'm looking forward to hearing as well. So there's a lot of musicians in the community, a lot of people doing awesome things. So whether it's a music or a fun speech or whatever it may be, looking forward to hearing what you have to share, or just seeing you there listening at the beautiful Lisa's Coffee Shop at the Center for Governance in Alien Worlds. Anyway, there's still a couple more topics here. Eric and Rosmari, feel free to jump in, of course, if you want to provide more detail, but I had a couple more things here that I can share before I stop the screen share. And so next thing I wanted to share is just I wanted to provide a bit of context that I think like Eric shared this idea with me. So Eric, we had a meeting where we were setting up the website, and the meeting was kind of to set up the website that I showed you before. Eric asked for help with this super site, and then the first time Eric shared this idea with me was about a month ago or so, and then he shared the idea about how we could do open mic nights, and I think it was partially inspired. Feel free to correct me, Eric, but I feel like it was partially inspired by the games we played at Eden Fractal's first anniversary. This was we discussed this for a few different weeks prior to that, and we were like, what should we do with the anniversary? Pat Perry came with the idea of doing a game called Fractal DJ, and then we also came up with the idea of Cignals that I've been working on with Rosmari and Gnome, and so we played these new kinds of games. Fractal DJ was a game where we went into breakout rooms and everybody shared music for a minute, and then we used Fractogram to rank that. It was super cool, and you can watch it. We're planning on producing clips from each one soon, but for now you can just watch the full video of the Eden Fractal anniversary along with some show notes and timestamps and so forth, and you can see all the amazing people who were here, and you can skip along with the timestamps to see the music people shared, as well as we had a speeches game that we ranked with Cignals, so we could do something similar. I think we're still figuring out exactly how this will work out and the best way to do it for the open mic nights. That's something we can get into, but just wanted to provide a bit of detail there. We have some websites, they're kind of early draft sites about edencreators.com/DJ, where we talked about how we played the Fractal DJ game and all the cool things we did there. And then there's also sites for edencreators.com/speeches and pitches, where we also use similar kinds of consensus games to rank helpful pitches for public goods and speeches. So maybe something like that will happen with the open mic night. Looking forward to discussing with Eric. Wanted to just give a bit of context that we've already done something that's kind of similar, and maybe this will be totally different, but we have a lot of great plans. Eric's got a lot of great visions to help inspire people with fun games that help people learn helpful tools to cooperate and better govern. Eric, if you want to jump in, or Rosmari want to jump in, I have a little presentation for some stuff that Rosmari's up to too, and then perhaps we can fully open the floor. But also, if you want to just jump in at any point about any of this stuff that we discussed so far, or just in general about the upcoming event for the open mic night, then feel free to jump in. And if not, that I can go on to Rosmari's part here before I stop the screen share. Sound good?
Sounds good. Everybody should sign up. That's the most important thing they need to know right now.
Yes, absolutely. Ticket sales end
Either
soon.
an attendee or a performer.
Yep. Absolutely. And once again, we'll see if we can publish this video in time for the meeting. If we do, then it's coming up very soon. It's coming up Friday, August 4th at 3 p.m. EDT, or that's actually 17 UTC, depending on your time zone. And then we're also planning to have more of these in the future too. This is kind of the first one. Eric is also planning on coordinating one for the launch of the Interplanetary Unconference, which is an exciting initiative that Lisa's been hosting that you can learn more about at the Center for Governance. If you go to interplanetaryunconference.com, you can see this event that Lisa's organizing. I also have an article, edencreators.com/unconference, where you can learn more too. So if you caught this episode late and you didn't make it, then you can always check out those for more. And hopefully maybe we'll have weekly open mic nights eventually. But this is the first one. It'll be historic and very exciting. So we'll get into that. And first, before I stop my screen share, I just want to also, since Rosmari's here and she's been doing such an amazing job, and she's been doing incredible work lately, especially that we haven't really highlighted on Town Hall. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Rosmari, and perhaps we'll do more kind of an in-depth interview with her if she wants to jump with any comments. But I wanted to just give her a shout out for some recent work she's been doing. For anybody who's new to the Town Hall or hasn't been following with the Fireside Chat or Eden Fractal, Rosmari joined the Eden Creators team as Chief Marketing Officer about 2 months ago or so. And so we've been working together very closely. She also visited and we were spending time together in physical location, which was awesome. So it's been great getting to know her and working with her closely. And she published a great video, Flower Time at EF59. I think she's working on a Twitter thread where she's kind of announcing her new role and some of the work she's been doing on. So this is a really exciting idea about the Flower Time, where you could see there's like really cool visuals, and you can see this is a presentation from Eden Fractal 59, along with beautiful visuals of the ocean and flowers and so forth. And we have much more coming soon here, where this is a great way where you can see a high-level overview of some of the great stuff that Rosmari has been working on. As you see on the screen right now, she's talking about Community Stories, which is the podcast that she launched a few months ago. I was the first guest. I had a huge honor and pleasure of being your first guest, Rosmari, and then also she had her second guest on, Gudasol, who actually introduced us to the community, or introduced Rosmari to the community back about 6 months ago when she joined the Eden community, and we all met Rosmari. So wanted to share this. You can learn more at edencreators.com/community stories, and on the YouTube channel where it's Flower Time at EF59. Thanks so much, Rosmari. She also put out a tweet here. Encourage everybody to follow Rosmari on Twitter, or rather X now, at Rosmari Digital, and then give her a like and a retweet. Check out some of her other tweets. She posts a bunch of great stuff. I'm stoked to be working with Rosmari and really looking forward. We have a lot of really exciting stuff to share, and this episode with Gudasol is excellent, talking about Aquadac and Fractalien and all sorts of other stuff. Super inspirational. So thanks so much to Rosmari for that. And Rosmari also shared her announcement basically of becoming the CMO of Eden Creators, and what she's planning to do and what we've done so far on the Fireside Chat in front of about 60 or 70 people, which was really awesome. A bunch of community leaders in the EOS community. You can see her speaking here. She's going to be sharing, first off, you can go to the EOS Network Foundation channel to watch it. I think she's going to be cutting a clip and sharing a tweet that will be coming out soon. You can also see we did a Fractal Apple episode a few months ago that you can watch, where we did some music together, and we're playing another one for soon. But there's all that, so I wanted to just give a little introduction there, as well as the website that was showed there, where you can learn more about all these, and much more coming soon, as well as show notes for her interviews with Gudasol and myself too, as well as more information. So if you go to Community Stories here, then you can find my interview and hers. You can click on it, as she said there. Anyway, we've also been doing a lot of great work too. Rosmari's been doing amazing work with the Eden Fractal episode. She's been editing and helping with a lot of the thumbnails and all sorts of other stuff. But we'll do a deeper Eden Fractal update in maybe a future town hall. But just wanted to give a little bit of awareness about some of the stuff we're working on. And people can check out edenbrite.com/videos to learn more. And we also just had a great Fractalien Worlds, Alien Worlds Fractal meeting too, where you can learn more about at edencreators.com/Fractalien Worlds and Alien Worlds Fractal. Lots more stuff. Also, welcome, Nicola. Great to see you. I suppose that I can maybe stop the screen share here if anybody else wants to resume a screen share or anything like that. First, I'll pass the mic over to Rosmari. If you want to share a few quick comments on that, we were planning to discuss it more in detail maybe after discussing Lisa's coffee shop, because Eric has some questions about how we'll best design this, so we'll get back to it. Encourage everybody to register for Lisa's coffee shop coming up on Friday. I'll stop the screen share now. Welcome to Nicola once again. Thanks so much for joining. Hope that you're doing well. It'd be great to hear from you. Any updates you have with the bees and stuff. Also know you've been working with Eden and you got all sorts of cool initiative with LeadSparker. Just listen to Jesse's interview on Nova Crypto channels. That's great to hear. So yeah, I'll stop my speech here. If anyone wants to say, if you want to say hello, Nicola, that'd be great. Or if Rosemary, you want to share a few words about your work, or we could save it for later and just hop right into the discussion about Lisa's coffee shop with open mic night.
All right. Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Yeah, we'll talk about all of this, but yeah, Rosemary or Eric, I don't know who was about to talk, but yeah, hi.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you, Nicola.
Hey, Nicola, and thank you for the great introduction into my work. And it's been a pleasure working with you, and looking forward to many more months and years to come. I know we can achieve a lot, so it's a matter of like streamlining the processes and getting things in order. But that comes with time, and yeah, we'll try to be more focused. Well, the best we can really, and make use of the time the most efficient way we can, and going into Eden Fractal meetings and Eden town halls, and learning from people who join them, such as Eric, everyone here on this call, Nicholas, he joins sometimes, Dan, and everyone else. It's great. It's like going to college, but for free. So yeah, I really enjoy it, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm glad I'm taking this path. I'm happy with my decisions.
Excellent. Well, I'm very glad to hear. You said you're glad you're taking what? I didn't hear that one part that you said there.
I'm glad I'm taking this path.
Oh, glad you're taking this path.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I'm very glad you're taking this path too. I'm thrilled to be taking it with you and looking forward to much more great collaborations that I'm sure we'll do, Rosemarie, in the coming weeks, months, and years. I think we'll do amazing stuff. It's already been, we've done amazing work together already, and so I'm stoked about it, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm also learning a huge amount from you and Eric and Nicola and all the great people in our meetings. And it's so cool too how we met through this when you joined Eden Fractal 6 months ago, and all the amazing things that come from here. So yeah, if you want to add anything more there, but we can also get more in detail afterwards. I know that Eric wanted to talk about the open mic night, and I'm excited to talk about it as well. Nicola, perhaps if there's any topic you want to discuss, maybe if you want to share in the chat, or if you want to give us a quick high-level overview of anything that's on your mind, then feel free before we get into discussion with Eric, or if you want to share in the chat and we could make some time to discuss it afterwards. I know you've been up to a bunch of exciting stuff. So happy to discuss that and feature it here in the town hall. And we are working on getting town hall is published. We published one from 2 weeks ago, and we're planning to publish last week, so we still have like 10 more that we're going to publish. Rosemary and I have been working on kind of a backlog with that, and as you were saying, managing time to be as efficient as possible. So we're planning to share much more episodes soon, so we'll be able to help promote everybody's work. But anyway, yeah, if Rosemary, you want anything else on there, or Nicola, you want to share a little preview of something we talk about after the open mic night discussion, or we can jump right into the open mic discussion if everybody's ready. What does everybody think? What's that?
I'm passing the mic to Nicola.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you, Rosemary. Yeah, so the last weeks I've been working with a new program that we developed with Jesse, which is called LeadSparker. This is something we developed because we feel that there is a new need for the EOS community in general, but more with Eden, because in 2 words it is a process of reaching out to leads on Twitter, and it's mostly now crypto projects, obviously, because we're in the crypto sphere. And this is exactly aligned with the new Eden on EOS vision. And so this is why Jesse and I pitched that new program during the Eden election. Unfortunately for him, he was not elected in the first round, but he had a really difficult round. Like the group he was in was like kind of tough. But fortunately, I was elected, and so we had one. I think it was the second working group meeting of the incubator, but I think I missed the very first one. So yeah, I pitched that. Everybody seems excited about LeadSparker. Um, and yeah, tomorrow there is a new meeting. I think it's tomorrow, so I will explain it in more detail. And yeah, I will build a new an Excel sheet so that everybody can track the comments and the progression of the process. And hopefully we will reach out and like catch the attention of potential clients. I put this as a clients, but it's not really clients of the Eden News, so that Eden News can showcase his full potential, and yeah, attract new talents and stuff. So yeah, very excited, very busy, obviously. And on his end, Jesse is really busy with Potsum. He's doing Potsum resume for I think the fireside chat. He's done this once. I'm not as aware of as him because now we are more like separate. Each he's on Possum, I'm on LeadSparker, so very busy. So yeah, it's been doing great. So swarms are more like in pause for at least the EOS community. We aren't still doing them, but for other entities than EOS. So yeah, that's pretty much the state of the EOSB's like project in general, I would say.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Nicola, for the introduction. I know Eric's been quite patient too, so we'll get over to open mic night soon, but I'll just first share a couple responses. One, way to go, and very excited for your work with LeadSparker. I read the article. Perhaps I can share it on screen later, or we can go back to it in more detail later and show people. But I read the articles about it. It looks awesome. I looked pretty deeply into it, and I think Jesse had spoken about it on a fireside chat. I've heard you speak about it a few times here, and also I did just listen to the interview with Patrick, the most recent Swiss workshop, the Antelope Swiss workshop. Hearing Jesse speak about LeadSparker and Podsum, so that's fascinating. I encourage everybody to go listen to that, as well as all the other Antelope Swiss Workshop guests from this time too. There's also some very interesting interviews with the Effect AI network and with Daniel Keys from Pomelo. So shout out to Patrick for putting those on, and shout out for Jesse as well. Unfortunately, Jesse had a run. He was a delegate every time in the Eden on EOS elections, but this is the first time that he didn't make it, I suppose. But I'm glad to see that you were a delegate, and yeah, happy to see the collaborations that you're thinking about doing there. It seems like there's a lot of synergies. Also growing the EOS EVM, I heard him speak about. So really cool stuff. And Podsum, that's very exciting. I messaged Jesse about that a while ago, and I'm also working on figuring out some of these amazing AI tools that you guys are pioneering. So people could check out the AI summary from the Eden Fractal number 6 update and last term in the last Antelope Swiss workshop, and also the EOS Fireside Chats to see some of the work that they're doing, which is really incredible, as well as the tweets that we featured in recent episodes. Looking forward, perhaps after we hear from Eric more about the open mic night, Nicola, I look forward to hearing more. I think you said there's a meeting tomorrow. I'm not sure about what that is. And also, by the way, we were talking about Rosemary's working on a tweet to kind of announce her new work with Eden creators, and she was thinking of doing a swarm. So you might have a swarm coming in pretty soon. If you wanted to add anything there, Nicola, about the event that's coming tomorrow, or anything else before we pass it over to Eric, then feel free to be happy to hear from you.
Yeah, so tomorrow this is the incubator working group meeting. I mean, this is the last message I saw in the chat. So it seems that Dominic said, how about Tuesday, 17 UTC, and there's a bunch of plans up. So I guess it's gonna be tomorrow, 17 UTC.
Okay.
Sorry, maybe not 17, but yes, yeah, it's 17, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, sounds great. That's a very interesting initiative going on with Eden on EOS, with an incubator that can support projects building on EOS. So people can learn more about this at the Eden on EOS Telegram groups and get involved. There's weekly meetings, several meetings each week for each working group and circles, and the incubator is one of them. So excited to see you at these events, Nicola, and talk more about that and see how the incubator can collaborate with LeadSparker. Very exciting stuff.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, of course. Thank you. I suppose if there's anything else you want to add on there, feel free to jump in quick, or we can come back to it later. But I know Eric's been pretty patient, so I think probably it's now a good
Yeah,
time
yeah,
to
yeah.
pass it over to
Yeah,
Eric.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Eric, thank you very much for being here and organizing the Open Mic Nightly's coffee shop. And with that, I'll pass over to you if you want to introduce it more in addition, or if you want to just start kind of a little brainstorming session with the best way to organize and so forth. However you think is best. Happy to hear from you.
Yeah, no problem with that. I mean, open mic night, first of all, is just a place for great people like we have here to get together and share and have fun and build communities. That's really what it's mostly about. But why that? Why not one of these other great events that we've had? We just did NFTopia, great events. So we've got them all the time, but why this one? Well, the best thing about working with Eden and other things is that it really feels like great people, fantastic people like Nicholas and Rosmari and yourself, who really are about building communities, making it easy to connect people so that they can share value, have fun. But part of that is decision making. Whenever you get people together, you have to make a decision. And that's always tough. People with different opinions and objectives and schedules. But if you want to do things great together, you need to make decisions. They say, you know, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a group. Well, how do you get that group to go together? And so to do that, we started the Center for Governance. And the Center for Governance is just that place that connects all these conversations that are going on about tools, about data, about channels and media. If you look at how many Telegram channels we're on right now, nobody can keep track of them. I can't. There's so many and new ones pop up all the time. So it's really great that all this is happening. But if we're just get down to that, you know, how do you make good decision making? We did one of the places we're looking at rolling out these decision making build communities at Alien Worlds, because it's big and it's active and things happen there fast. And when we talked to custodians, their first comment was, yeah, we don't really know what governance is or how to do it. So could you give us some ideas and some services? So what we did was we just took what they told us they wanted and we created the Center of Governance. You can look at that right now at governance.super.site. That's SITE. And that's where we started to build these pages and put everything into a common framework. And so we realized, how do you educate these people? Well, we have conversations, we put up material, we collect and organize information, but really at the core, it's really about transformational events for decision making. How do you make decision making? Well, one way is to make it fun. You don't have to solve all decision making process. You don't have to put in and start by coming up with a huge infrastructure and create multiple DAOs and fractals and sociocracies and holacracies. You just need to do something to make it a little better. And so open mic night, besides being a great place to have fun, it's a place to practice decision making without having to worry about decision making. You're just having fun. It works. So this is a place for us to roll out our tools to get people used to that, to get people connected. And so that's really what this is, a first of many events just to use decision making tools. And we imagine there'll be many more in the future. This is just the first one. I mean, the Center for Governance is relatively new. So that's something. And it kind of came about when Alien Worlds allowed the planets to start controlling a little bit of their own destiny. And so that created the need for it. So that's Alien Worlds, and that's open mic night. So the other thing to keep in mind is when you do this, when you're, you know, if we were to all start a company, Nicholas, Rosmari, and Dan, all of us, the first thing you need to make it as visual as possible. You need to see it before it exists. That's the one thing that sapiens have over any animal on the planet. We can think of things before they exist and then make them real, but you kind of have to make it feel real first. And so the Center for Governance gives us that visualization of a physical place. And at the top of that building, very top, with the big windows in the back, is Lisa's coffee shop. And so this becomes a place, and the Center for Governance has an events hub, which will have other places too. So, you know, my big question to everybody, and I look for feedback, is what's important? when we have these events? What's important? So I've created a script. I don't know if you just want to talk about it or I can share it, whatever you want, but this was just to give some ideas of what's going to happen on Friday. And the first, I think, is to welcome people and to set the stage and set expectations when you have an event. So I think the key is to realize that, first of all, we're celebrating community and creativity, the power of diversity and the power of collaboration and consensus. And I think that's important to say right off the top, is that's what we're doing, is this is the place to go. And then I think you need to thank the sponsors, because it's people that keep doing things. The sponsor for this so far is Center for Governance and Lisa's Coffee Shop itself. And we've also some prizes from things. So I think Dan, as our host, needs to talk to Duane and all that and figure out how you want to talk about the prizes and who gave them and whether they deserve any kind of recognition, because we always want to thank people that's doing that. We also want to make this place very physical. So I would start, if I were you, these are suggestions in there that you could see on our Telegram channel. I would start with a picture of Ike, the planet Ike. That's where it is, and then go into our coastal grassland, and then show the Center for Governance building, then show Lisa's Coffee Shop. And I think making that physical is there. I've kind of asked for them to create some stage backgrounds for us in Zoom, so when you're on stage and people are performing, they can have a Zoom background, since we will be doing other Zoom. But I think making it physical is a good place. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Any thoughts? Then I think people kind of need to know what's going on tonight. We need to give people a roadmap. So the roadmap is simply, here's the rules. I think the number one rule is, first of all, everybody gets 5 minutes. So that's the first thing to let people know, even ahead of time. 5 minutes, they can do whatever they want. Hopefully we'll have the Zoom backgrounds, but not critical. I think we're talking about attendance awards, you know, and that's something, Dan, that really working with, and Duane Filippi, who's awesome, is collected all these. I don't know how we're going to give them out. And I think that needs to be clear is, you know, do you get an event for attending? I know we have some intents for winning the performance awards, but how many awards for what? I think we need to be clear on that. And I think as a host, that's something to work out with Duane, is how do they get this? And something to keep in mind is I already have people signing up who don't know anything about alien worlds or fractals, which is a good thing. This is a lead engine for us to get people used to what we're doing. So do you say, if you want these awards, you have to have a wallet, and how do we get them through that wallet if they don't? So that's something to talk about here is, here's what's going on tonight. Everybody gets 5 minutes. At the end, we're going to be voting. There's going to be some awards, or there will for attendance. How do you get them? Also, Lisa's will have virtual coffee and open face sandwiches available. So that's something to go over with Lisa and say, how do you get those sandwiches? So everybody needs to know that up front. And if somebody wants to get one of these awards, and they're in there, because you don't need it, you don't need anything to come in. But if you need to get the wallet or something, we need to talk about how we're going to get people to do that. So then it's just Dan takes over the stage, 5 minutes, announces the next one, 5 minutes. I don't know how you're going to tell people what order. I don't know how you're going to tell people what's next. You might want to put that out and put that in the Zoom chat saying, here's the order, so people know. You might randomize it. But I think that's important to think through. And then you need to think about voting. So Dan, any thoughts on voting yet? And this is kind of something we work on with Vlad, but how are we going to vote? 5 minutes, everybody's done. We have 15 performers. Now what? What do you think? Putting you on the spot because you're the host. What do we think?
Right. Well, first off, Eric, I'll just say thanks. I'll answer that in a moment, but first I just wanted to say thank you for providing a great introduction and once again leading this initiative. It's very exciting, and I have many questions and comments to you too, because we decided to get this event going pretty quickly, and we do have a lot to decide this week and the next 4 days or so. about how exactly it would work. But the whole vision of it, it sounds awesome. I saw Rosmari, she said much love in the chat. She gave it a heart. So great to see. And I love how we're doing these things that are fun and musical and enjoyable. And it's also teaching people these like these great educational learning experiences about how we can cooperate better, make decisions together in this kind of environment, and use these tools and so forth. So I have some ideas for the kinds of tools we can use to facilitate voting, and I'm also curious about the tools that maybe Vlad had in mind. I don't know if Vlad, I remember just in the Fractalian Worlds
He
meeting we're
talked
in.
about it, and one of Vlad's biggest concerns was how many people. That's why I put a number down there. 42 can get tickets. Maybe that even includes us. I don't know, but 42 are in there, so that I can change that number. I could change the 15 participant, but that was one of Vlad's biggest concerns, was how many people be voting, because tools need to be some for people to think about. Tools need to be adjusted to how many people you have voting and how much time you have. Oh, and by the way, thanks to Benny for the great graphics of Lisa's coffee shop. So I want to say that.
Oh yeah,
So,
Benny's. Oh, go ahead.
so what do you think?
Uh,
Voting.
so yeah, well, first off, Rosemary and Nicola, if you want to jump with any thoughts about this, I imagine Nicola, some of this might be new for you, or maybe all of it. I don't know if you followed this at all. So if you guys want to share any first impressions or thoughts in your mind, then feel free to go ahead. I have some notes about some details we can get into. I see Rosemary just joined back on camera again. So yeah, first I'll pass it over and just see if Rosemary or Nicola, if you want to share any thoughts about the open mic night in general or answer any of the specific questions, and then perhaps after that, then I can share some of my responses and questions for Eric. Rosemary?
Thanks. I have an idea for the order. You can make a poll so people can, or use Slido so people can slide them up or around. So some people may want to go first, some people may want to go last. And so that could be the way that the order is decided. And
I,
whoever, let's say, hasn't
I'm a huge,
responded yet.
being when you're voting, I'm a huge fan of randomization because order is always one of those variables. So I would take that variable from anybody questioning fairness. So I think if they're there, they're going to perform. So I would
Oh,
say randomize it and say, here it is.
okay.
Just
Okay.
thoughts.
All right. That would be good too.
Cool. Well, yeah, that both of those are good. Randomization makes it easy and very simple, but then also at the same time,
Well,
Rosemary mentioned, I think the Slido tool, which could be potentially used for that. We use that at the Eden Fractal meetings. It's a very powerful tool. I see you wanted to add something there, Eric. So thanks for sharing those thoughts, Rosemary, and we'd be happy to hear more from you.
so
But
here's
back
the
to
thing.
Eric.
If you're doing the Slido tool, that gives another question. Do you have people vote, ranking while they're performing? I don't think that's bad. Or wait to the end. And would you make the Slido tool available at the beginning, and as they're listening to people, you can say, "Oh, I like that one better," or do you wait to the end to introduce them?
Yeah, so I suppose just while we're on this topic, I'll just share my thoughts here about what tool. So, yeah, it does depend on how many people there are. So, for example, Fractalgram, that's what we use for Fractal DJ, and that's what we use it each week for Eden Fractal, Fractalian Worlds, and that's an amazing app that Das built to go along with the tools that Vlad built with the web app. But the limitation there is that there's only 6 people who can join in a room. So you can do it with small groups. There's been a couple times where I've been with Rosmari at the Aqueduct meetings. We've had 7 people and it hasn't worked there. We've had to do it just manually. So whereas when we did the Eden Fractal meeting, we had something like 12, 13, 14, 15 people who were giving speeches or sharing public goods. And we were able to use that with the Slido app. Where you could have it just like Eric was saying, where you could slide it to the top or slide in the middle, and while you're listening or while you're watching, you can do that. And so I think this Cignals app that we experimented with during the anniversary for speeches and the pitches games that we did, maybe that would be best, because if there's 15 performers, that would allow you to enter all 15 performers and people could rank them as they go,
I think
open
it's
to other options too. What's up?
I think it's a great choice, and we want to reduce risk. So this first one, this is just putting the toe in the water. But where we're thinking about, the reason we're doing this now is because the Interplanetary Unconference is going to be coming around September, October timeframe, and we expect to have a big open mic night or multiple open mic nights for that. And that's why we're doing it now. We're testing out the bugs, but as we do these, we want to think for how do we do, even if we're not doing it now, we want to think, how are we doing this at scale? And so I think, requiring people to use Telegram, what if they're not? At least at this phase, I would do simple, minimize risk. As we get into it and learn what works and what don't, we can get more complicated. But I would make this first one simple as possible. So I like the Slido idea, because we already know who's performing. Put them in there, make it available to everybody.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. And perhaps just for anybody who's not familiar, I know we've been publishing a lot of these longer videos of the Eden Fractal, and we haven't yet published the Fractalien Worlds videos, so a lot of people haven't had the opportunity to catch up on exactly what we're talking about with Slido and how we did this. Maybe I'll just share my screen again briefly just to give high-level overview of what we're talking about right now. And so far we've experimented with this app 3 times. We've also a huge shout out to Gnome as well, who helped us design some of the Google spreadsheets. This is still kind of in a beta stage right now, this Cignals game that we're playing, or Cignals app that we're building for with the Slido app. And what we're doing is, Slido is a voting app, so I'll share my screen here and people can see it. Or you can also watch a couple of recent videos where I can go on more, but yeah, Slido, it's a very popular polling app. They say it's the easiest way to make your meetings interactive, and players or participants can use live polls and questions and answers and so forth. There's a lot of details about here. I've done quite a lot of research after learning about this tool a couple months ago, and then I signed up for a plan. And yeah, so far we've tested it at 3 meetings. I mentioned at the 53rd Eden Fractal meeting, which we had almost 2 or 3 months ago now, that's a long time ago. At our anniversary, we first tested this out with the most inspiring speeches and most amusing speeches. Those were kind of, everybody gave a 3-minute speech about Eden Fractal, and they shared the most inspiring speeches they could think about, or the most amusing, and then the whole community ranked it. And then I gave out some prizes. I still haven't actually given them. I saw Jorge just put out a message because there's some technical issues, but I'm going to give them the prizes, and we're still setting that up. But basically, that's the game that we played. And then people who won get NFTs. So it inspired people to share really amazing and fun speeches. And then we did the same thing, or a similar thing. We used a similar app on the public good sessions number 3 and public good sessions number 4. We made some cool thumbnails everybody can see here. We got some fun microphone little dudes here to play around with us. And you can watch the video to see exactly how this went. But basically, we set up a poll in Slido where people could do rankings, and everybody's name of people who gave a speech was there. And then if I went on the video, I could probably actually find it somewhere where you could see how the interface looks and stuff. People could basically slide it up and down. It was quite intuitive and worked quite well. You can see it now on my screen. We had who shared the most entertaining speech about public goods. In this case, Lisa had the most, Duane had the second, Jorge the third most, and so forth. And people live in the meeting, as they shared their speeches, they could move it up or down depending on who they thought did the best. And then we said, okay, the top 6 people get rewards, the top 3 people get rewards. We kind of played around with it in different ways. And then we also had this spreadsheet here. So we're working with the Pinex team, which is the EOS Nation team and the former EOS Canada team, and building this all in the blockchain. But for right now, we have a demo in Google spreadsheets where people can learn. We took the rankings involved. And so right now we don't have any rankings, or like, I suppose we could do 1 person, 1 vote or something like that. But for these games, we did it where people who were more respected in Eden Fractal meetings, specifically the last 12 of them, they got an average rank over the past 12 weeks. And then if they're a delegate, they got a bonus. And we did something to calculate signal power. So we had some formulas here. And then we worked with Gnome, and Rosmari did amazing work here too. A lot of it was manual at first. But we figured out who got the highest rank compared to that. And so obviously when we're inviting people into these groups and just having a fun time, we don't want to have to confuse them with all this details. We just want to provide a good experience. But what we want to do is get these working in the back end so that we can have it where you could do it, where people can vote. I suppose in the beginning, just keep it simple, we could do 1 person, 1 vote. But this idea of signals where you can take in a signal power of people who participate more at meetings and who are highly respected, or like as a delegate, if they have some more voting power, that's a cool way to do it. And we're working to automate this with the Firehose and Substream technology from Pinex. Planning on meeting with Gnome, more details with that soon. So we'll have more details, but for now we can kind of just use a basic version of the system for the open mic nights, is I think what Eric
So here's an idea for you as host. Just to get people used to using the tools before the event and during it, make a Slido ahead of time that we can put out to those people who register. Vote for the number 1 reason you're excited about coming, or something like that. We could put choices in there, and you could ask a question when you first get up on stage, what do you like best about Lisa's coffee shop, and put some choices or something. So I'm saying you could use this tool before the event, when the event starts, so that you've already known that people have been able to hook up to it. Just an idea.
Great idea. I'll try setting that up in the coming days, and that way people can try it out and see it in advance. Yeah, when we did the Slido for the Eden Fractal anniversary and the other ones, as we were joking about before, as we were getting prepared for this town hall, oftentimes we do meetings kind of last minute, because we're so busy doing so many great meetings, so many great innovations, and so preparing in advance and letting people see in advance, that's something we've been aiming to do with Eden Town Halls and Eden Fractals too. We want to make it so people can participate in the Cagendas process, Cagendas game, where people can vote on topics and so forth. I've been talking a lot about that with Rosmari, and actually we had a Eden Fractal meeting about it called the Future Cagendas, the 59th meeting, where we get more into detail about that. But yeah, being prepared earlier in advance, that can be a helpful way to promote it, as well as get people used to the tool and have fun with it as well. So that's a great suggestion, Eric, and I'll try doing that in the coming days. Maybe I'll do it today if I can.
So now we've announced people, we've got them warmed up, we've told them what's going on, we've introduced them to the tool, we've introduced the rule. By the way, the number one rules is be supportive. This is a safe, supportive environment. Biggest rule we have there. We go through the voting. Now we're going to give people awards. What do you think that's like? Voting is done. Maybe you give people a break, to vote, some time between the end, and then the voting's in. Now what? How do we do awards? Just say, hey, what do you think? Any thoughts, you guys?
Great question. First of all, I saw Rosemarie was unmuted there. So Rosemarie, did you want to share any thoughts about Eric's question there, or anything else was on your mind?
The rewards depend on what voting process there is and how long that would take. And I really forgot what I wanted to add.
Okay. Cool, no problem. Feel free to jump in.
Oh yes, right. I just remembered. It came. I wanted to add that when you post the link for Slido beforehand, it might be good to just mention maybe a few tips or rules to follow. For example, to not vote as anonymous. Just so everyone knows up beforehand.
Okay, sounds good. Do you mind repeating this? A little bit quiet, by the way. You said the rule that people can't vote for themselves, or?
Because I'm using my headphones. Yeah, just to provide tips, or kind of.
We can take the performers. I would take the performers out of the voting. You're performing, you're not voting for this one. That way we don't have to worry or answer those kind of questions yet.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Or another way we could do it is just have it where nobody can vote for themselves. I did that for the last Pomelo pitch session, or a public goods pitch session that we did, and that way everybody can still vote and have fun with it. But it just makes it so it's more about supporting each other. And like you said, it's a great rule that we want to create a supportive environment. Thanks, Rosemarie, for sharing that. And yeah, for sure we can provide tips so that everybody knows how to do it in advance. If there's anything else on your mind, then feel free to jump in. I'm curious, it looks like Nicola is very focused on something. If you have any thoughts about this, you want to jump in at any point, feel free to do so. And then also, I think Rosemary said she had to go at some point. So at some point, I'd love to get talk more in detail about Rosemary's new work. But I suppose first, I'll just go ahead and share some thoughts. Oh, I see Rosemary's unmuted if you want to jump in.
I don't have to go yet.
Oh, okay.
I
Sounds
don't
good.
have to go yet.
Cool. So yeah, my thinking about prizes, Eric. So right now, as I understand, there aren't quite prizes yet. And one thing that I've been thinking about, so for the Eden Fractal meetings that we did, I gave out some EOS, and that has like a dollar value, and I had raised that funding from other places like Eden on EOS in the past, and so I gave out maybe 100 or maybe 200 EOS between all three events, and then I also said I'd give it NFTs. It's been taking me a while to learn how to distribute the NFTs. Gudasol gave me and Rosemary a tutorial on how to create NFTs, but there's different tools. So now I have one NFT created, but there's a mass NFT distribution tool from Bounty Block that got broken just after we started to do it. And now I've been looking into Facings, which is an open source NFT distribution tool that I'm planning to reach out to the CEO or CTO, Rodrigo, for help with that. And so long term, I think that NFTs are a great way to reward people, and NFTs are kind of like the technical way to do it. But any sort of like cool media, and with an NFT technology, then you can make it so it's theirs. It's not something that can be replicated and somebody can just copy and paste it, but you give them some media thing that is theirs. Media thing, better way to describe that probably. But yeah, NFTs are a great way to do it. In addition, getting sponsors can be a great idea too. And you said I could mention to Duane, talk with Duane. So I'd like to speak with Duane more about this. Perhaps one of the planets and alien worlds can help, or Decoco. Or perhaps it has a lot of synergies for Eden and EOS, maybe ENF, or the Eden community can help in some way, or just individuals like myself or Patrick has donated to support it too. So I encourage anybody, if they have any ideas or if they want to support it, give any prizes out. We can also do it with the Fractogram app. So Vlad has been helping me with setting up the Eden Fractal software on the Eden creators account, so I can automatically distribute the prizes for like the anniversary event and for the pitches events, and we could potentially do that for the Least Coffee Shop event or any other open mic night or anything else in the future. But these have been some of the reasons, like, just it's been taking me a while to get these solutions set up with the automated Eden Fractal software or the NFT software. So it's all possible to do that, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks and months we'll have it where we can do it very easily for these events. We can give prizes out very easily, and one of the great things about NFTs or like a respect is that you don't need to like have a huge investment. But of course, it's also nice when people can win prizes and they can earn money and stuff like that. So it'd be great to seek out sponsors as well. A couple of thoughts, like it would be cool eventually maybe have it where in the future maybe even Eden Fractal could help sponsor and respect people who make great songs, a little bit of respect, or Alien Worlds Fractal. I have a very interesting idea that I'm working on with, it was inspired by what Tadas has been sharing. I talked about it with Rosmari yesterday and the Alien Worlds people a little bit today about ways we can make like NFT seeds that people planting a garden together. So I'll share more details with that, but that's something that could potentially help with us in the future. But basically, I'm not sure what the prize should be right now. I mean, there's a prize of just coming to the event and having a great time with people, but it is nice to have also
Well,
some sort of prize in addition.
Duane has selected some prizes. He has them.
Oh, does he? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, if you check the if you check the what's in the open mic group or the governance group in there, the Telegram group, they're listed. So
Okay.
you got the number, you got what they are. My only concern is some of the people that win may not have a wallet at this point and may not be able to get them. That's okay. You can say, you know, if you want this award, you have to get that, but then we have to figure, all right, how are we going to help these people get the wallets if they want it? I think it's optional. I think you say, here's what you do if you want this, here's what you have to do to play. You don't force people to play, but I think it's important to think these things through so that we can say those one right at the beginning and at that. And I don't know the answer to that, but because it's on Eventbrite where people sign up, you can send emails out to anybody who signed up. So if you tell me what to put in the email, I will put it in an email and send it to them.
All right, excellent. Well, yeah, thanks for that clarification. I'm looking forward to seeing those prizes that Duane has, and I'm sure they're quite good. And yeah, great idea to also send an email so people are aware. And I think you got a good plan. I think maybe you answered your question there. It sounded good to me, at least. Basically, where it's not too difficult to create an account on Wax. It's probably the easiest place to do it. I'm assuming we're using Wax because it's in Alien Worlds. And Wax has my cloud wallet, which people can sign up for pretty easily with any kind of social media.
There's some TLM involved in there if you read the things. And I think setting up wallets is fine. I'm just saying somebody has to say, yes, I'm the wallet setter up, whether that's Vlad or somebody else. It has to be done. We can't just talk about it. Somebody has to say, yes, this is being done. And that's why we're going through all this now, is just to say that needs to be done. We'll go over it again. Probably, you know, in a day or two, we'll go over it again and see, you know, how are we?
Sounds good. Well, yeah, thanks for raising it to our attention. I know for the Alien Worlds Fractal, Vlad made like 10 accounts. Just he just decided to make them, and that's how many people got their accounts there because they didn't previously have Wax accounts. So that's something we can do. Maybe if Vlad can do that again for the open mic night, that would be awesome. And overall, the plan is it sounds like a good plan. Just to have it where people don't need it, and people can always set it up later. This is our first event. In the future, we can get more refined with it, and we can also share links if people want to set their own wallet with Wax Cloud Wallet. I see they shared some updates. So yeah, I suppose maybe the best course of option there is just message Vlad, see if he can help out with that. Or if anybody else wants to help out, then that could be great. I could maybe do it, but also I'm not totally sure how Vlad did that and the best way to do it. So maybe the best step there is reach out to Vlad and see how we could set that up for the event this week. And if you have any more thoughts about that, Eric, I'd be curious to hear about it. Or yeah, I think you might have some other thoughts in your mind too. Or I don't know. What do you think?
I think we covered the basics. I think it's just important to keep the steps we want people to go with. What we want to make it a good event for them. So, check out I will update the script based on what we came up with today. Feel free to look at it in the open mic night and the governance part in there, but I think we have some things to fill in. I need to draft an email to send to everybody before the event. We've already started putting out the link for people to register, so feel free for people to register, but we need to lock in the prizes and how they're awarded. And I think that's probably you and Vlad, and I think you need to probably talk with Lisa about her sandwiches and coffee to make sure, as you tell people how to get it, you know what to tell them for your role as host. But I think those are the big things: is setting up the voting. I think we decided you would do that in Slidio, and maybe even have a couple things before at the beginning of the event to warm people up. Great, good. Test out the tool. We've got sandwiches and coffee. You need to talk to Lisa. We've got the awards. You can talk to Duane about those, and it's just how we're going to present the awards.
All right, excellent. Well, I'm loving the progress, and I'm stoked for the event. And yeah, so I have a bit of catching up to do in the IKE Community Council chat, where some of this has been going on with the sandwiches. I know you messaged me about that. I'm still looking forward to learning about the sandwiches, and then so I'll read up on that, and looking forward to seeing the draft email that you come up with and collaborating with that, and then working with Vlad. I saw Rosmari made a message about, can we not set up some extra wallets just in case, similar to Vlad did in the Fractalien World. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. I suppose any of us could do that. It's not really that difficult to do it. So Vlad's a busy guy too. So one of us could volunteer to do that, and then people could have it in advance. Although I know when I tried transferring it to Gnome, he had some issues. So there is a bit of complexity there. So we'll have to figure out the best way to do that. It should be pretty simple, but it did take me a long time, and time has been difficult to come by some ways too. So we have to figure out a way to do it efficiently.
I think Gnome had wallet issues. I think
Yes.
he wasn't. He was like, "What Anchor? What? How? What? How do we do that?" So, it wasn't that bad. I did it really quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty simple when you know it, but it can be a bit tricky for people. So having it also
but we may want to put that into a link for people. See what I mean is, you can tell them what to do, but you got a lot going on there, and I will be there. I will host the Zoom, and so you can host the event, and I will help keep things. I will co-host in order to help keep the background running. But we can put a link in there with the instructions how to do that ahead of time. So in order to get that, you tell them, but we just click go on this link and it gives them instructions. So those are the things we want to think about ahead of time. Is there any instructions you want to put out, anything like that I can help by dropping things for you in the chat or ahead of time? So
Okay, great. Sounds good. Yeah, I think that co-hosting will work very well, and that'll allow us to be more prepared and efficient, and also have fun, give people a great experience, especially since we're trying to let new stuff out. And yeah, that all sounds fantastic. So I'm very excited. I think you said one other thing that I meant to respond to at the beginning, but I didn't take a note there. So my apologies if there's something that I'm forgetting to respond to there. But yeah, overall, it sounds awesome though. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that for right now. Rosmari, Nicola, if you have any other thoughts about the upcoming open mic night, curious to hear. Oh, one other thing I was wondering, Eric, too, is can people send in like remote submissions? Like, say if they're in a place where it's very late for them or something like that, like do they have to be live in attendance to participate in the event, or do you think somebody could say, I can't make it at this time, but I made a little video so you can all can listen to it or something like that? Have you thought about that?
That is a good idea. I would say let's do it live for this event. I try and make things as simple as they can, and if it works, then I keep what works and I add more complexity. So I try not to add these extra dimensions like what if and what if, just make it simple since this is the first prototype event. So I would say show up, but maybe for the next time we want to allow remote submissions.
Cool. Sounds good and makes sense. I would just make one suggestion, I think. I don't know, because I know it's pretty late for Rosmari, and she's an amazing singer and would love to hear from her. I don't know if she can stay up that late, and if she can, then it'd be great to see her there. But it might be good just to make one exception for her here if she's not able to, so we can hear her. But I'm happy to go however you think is best too, of course. But it would be great to hear from her if possible. And also, I'd love to hear from Nicola too. I know it's kind of late in Nicola's time, but not as late. But I don't know if Nicola has I don't know if Nicola plays music much.
1700 GMT.
1700. Yeah, I guess it's about the same time here, so it's not all that late. So I was
Yeah,
thinking it was later, but
it's 8 p.m. like 8:30 p.m. here in France. It's not
okay,
that late. Yeah, I'm used to way worse.
okay.
Um, so yeah, what was your question again? Sorry.
Oh, well, I was wondering. I was wondering just if you have any thoughts about the open mic night and Lee's coffee shop and this whole stuff we're talking about. Any general thoughts, and also if maybe I don't know if you play music or if you share speech. I know you have a YouTube channel. If you're interested in participating or listening at the coffee shop, and at some point it'd be great to hear you perform something too. Maybe this one or maybe a future one.
No, I'm not a singer at all. Like not at all. You don't want to hear that. And but I know some dance move. It
uh,
was my birthday party yesterday, and I impressed a lot of people there. But unfortunately, I can't show that off in an open mic.
I would say you could. Well, first off, happy birthday too. So I'm glad that you impressed people and said quite confidently. So I feel like it's probably very impressive, and I would love to see
Yeah.
a video with you strutting and dancing at some point. And you could get up on the stage and just dance for people. Maybe that might be a fun way to do
Maybe
it.
one day, maybe one day, if someone take a video of me, I will share it to you.
Sounds good. I look forward to seeing it. Maybe I can maybe do some dance moves along with it too, because I have been known to dance here and there, and I enjoy it very much as well. Maybe we could have a dance party at some point. All right. Well, great, Nicola. Yeah, if you want to share any more thoughts about your dancing career or dancing career, it's a career now apparently. Your dancing
Yeah,
experience or plans, or Lisa's coffee shop or anything like that. Or if you wanted to get back, I know we were planning to wrap it up pretty soon too. We already went past time a bit, and it looks like we've discussed everything with open mic night to Eric's satisfaction. I'm very happy, but I'm looking forward to it. Once again, I encourage everybody to sign up and join us for the first one coming up on Friday, and keep an eye out to the Center for Governance and all the other cool stuff we're doing for more in the future. If you want to share more about Eric, we'd be happy to hear from you. Or Nicola, if you want to share more thoughts about Open Mic Night, or Rosmari, or if we wanted to get on, if I know Rosmari, we wanted to discuss a little bit more about your new role as CMO and some of the work you're doing. So if you'd like to discuss that, or Nicola, if there's anything else you wanted to add about what you're working on with the bees or LeadSparker, or we could just start to wrap it up too. I know everybody's been here for a while and it's kind of late, so I want to respect everybody's time. Does anybody have any thoughts about the best way to proceed now, or anything on your mind?
no, I don't think I have anything to say more. I thought I will update next week about the progress of our bees for Eden. But yeah, for now, I pretty much said it all. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Well, looking forward to hearing your update for next week. And of course, the next town hall is in 2 weeks on Monday at 17 UTC.
Okay.
So if you'd like, we can schedule a topic out there and feature it and discuss it as much as you'd like. We could show everybody LeadSparker and show everybody all the cool stuff you're doing. So look forward to that very much. And I think Rosmari unmuted. Rosmari, would you like to share some thoughts here? Or would you like to discuss a bit about what we were discussing before? Or open mic night, or your new role?
I mean, I really like the idea. I think it's gonna be an amazing night. I'll be able to join. And I think maybe it would be better to leave to do the questions that you want to ask me, or for me to share a bit more about my progress and my experience in as a CMO at Eden Creators, and not only to the Eden Fractal update. That's probably gonna be part of Fractal Apple, so we can do that then, maybe with a bit more of a preparation and some slides prepared and things like that, because it is a bit late here, like 9:30.
Yes,
And I
absolutely.
can be more fresh.
Oh, oh no, there's a phone going, and why is it going this? Sorry for that. I had an alarm going off. I couldn't find my phone. But anyway, yeah. So that sounds great, Rosemary, and good point. I look forward. I mean, you sound very fresh now, but of course, don't want to keep you up too late. And look forward to getting more into detail because there's so much we can discuss. And yeah, that's what we've been planning actually. So I don't know if I mentioned before, but I showed previously when I showed you your fireside chat. It had a little thumbnail of our Fractal Apple, our third episode, where we did Irish songs and stuff like that. And we've been planning, and we actually filmed while Rosemary was busy over here. We filmed a little bit where we shared some songs together and then talked a little bit. And we have plans to kind of do several different shows with the Fractal Apple. So, next Fractal Apple show, we're going to play music and share all sorts of cool updates about what we've been doing. And there's another show too, Defs, discussing Eden Fractal stuff that I started with Vlad, and then I'm planning to do another episode with Das. He came up with a really interesting idea called Respect Trees that we recorded and we're planning to release. And we're starting to, I think Rosemarie was going to ask me some questions. I asked her some questions about Eden Fractal. So we'd have a third episode discussing Eden Fractal stuff, and also Creator Talk. I did an episode with Das about 6 months ago about Creator Talk with Eden plus Fractal Process, but aiming to bring that back, and I think I'm going to have Rosemary as my second guest on there, where we can discuss Rosemary's work, perhaps on the discussing Fractal stuff, or perhaps the Fractal Apple, or the Creative Talk. Still figuring out, but I figured we could do it on all of them, or just one of them. But that's another opportunity where we can get more into detail about all the awesome stuff that you've been doing, Rosemary, both over the past few months and 6 months and longer, and just all sorts of interesting questions and discussions that I'm sure we'll have. So I look forward to saving that discussion and getting more into detail in the future and sharing all those shows with everybody so everybody can see and get involved. And of course, everybody can join these town halls every other week and the Eat Fractal meetings, all the other meetings to speak with us and learn more about Rosemary and Eric and the open mic night and Nicola, and join the open mic night. Maybe we'll discuss a bit more there as well, in addition to playing music and stuff. So sounds great. I suppose we can start to wrap it up pretty soon then. Rosemary, if you want to add anything more there, or Nicola or Eric.
Hi guys, sorry I have to go. I have to go now. So I see you. Goodbye. Sorry to leave like that, but I really have to go.
No problem. Bye bye. Thanks,
Bye
Nicola.
Dan. Thank you. Bye
Have a great
Eric.
day.
Bye Rosemary. Bye
See ya.
everyone. See you.
All right, all right. Shall we wrap it up, or any last thoughts?
Wrap.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Hot stuff.
What's up?
Covered a lot of stuff.
That's right. We had a great meeting. I'm looking forward to the open mic night and all the awesome stuff we'll do in the future, and soon we'll publish so everybody can watch it as well. All right, so should we wrap it up with like I don't know, should we go 3, 2, 1 anything? Or should we just say like goodbye and thank you everybody? Or I once again encourage everybody to check out Lisa's coffee shop, open mic night. What's up? Rosemary?
You just said it. You just said it.
I said what?
You said what you wanted to say.
What do I want to say? I don't remember. I probably spoke too much. What was I saying there? 3, 2, 1 something, or just goodbye? 3, 2, 1, go Eden Town Hall, go at Lee's coffee shop, go open mic night.
Okay, go Eden Town Hall, go to the coffee shop, and go open mic.
Okay, it's kind of a lot, but we can do that. Maybe we don't always have to end it with go this. We could just say thanks everybody, see you later. That could be another way we could do it in the future. That's maybe more time efficient, but it's also fun, so we can discuss it and we're laughing. So we'll go with that, Rosemary, and your suggestion. Are you all ready? We'll count 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1-0. Go Eden Town Hall.
Go Eden Town.
Go Lisa's Coffee Shop. And go
Go.
open mic night. And
Go shop. Go open mic.
yes. Thanks everybody. See you next time. Thanks so much, Rosmari and Eric. Thanks for watching, everybody.